Maybe I'm crazy, but I recognize no more Super Bowl halftime shows until Janet is invited back.
Amen. Every Super Bowl, National Janet Jackson Appreciation Day.
Yes, and it's become a serious thing.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll discuss later.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not.
Welcome to the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. That's Brandon Newman.
Hola.
Happy Super Bowl Tuesday.
Is it a happy Super Bowl Tuesday?
It's not a thing. Super Bowl Monday is the only thing.
Oh, well, this whole thing, I've been in mourning since the Super Bowl.
Yes, we watched the Super Bowl together.
Yes.
Earl and I had people over for the Super Bowl, and it was those are the leftover cookies from the cookie tray.
Oh, actually, I said I was going to have a bite of cookie every time
we said Super Bowl.
Okay, starting now.
It's gonna make. Can we do it afterwards? Because it's gonna make it kind of difficult for you to talk while you have cookies in your face. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna discuss the Super Bowl at length. Obviously, this episode.
Somebody tally them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone else keep track of that. Yeah, we don't need to do it during the actual show.
I'll keep track.
Edelman. Mm-hmm. Is he in the Hall of Fame? The answer is no, but we'll discuss.
Come on.
Was McVay outcoached? The answer is yes. We'll discuss.
Answer, yeah.
LeVar has some things to say about Luke Walton and the Lakers. The Miami Dolphins have announced their coaching hire. The NBA trade deadline is going completely off the rails. Kobe does not like iso ball.
Woo! Surprise!
Apparently. Super Bowl commercials. The LeBron, MJ, Brady debate is now a thing. Who's the GOAT? And obviously we'll talk about the disaster of a halftime show.
Debatably.
It's not debatable.
Okay.
Anyway, let's start with the Super Bowl. So, I understand. I get it. I want to just keep it real. Can I keep it real?
Yeah, talk to him.
Can I keep it real?
Yeah, of course. That's why we're here.
I'm gonna keep it real.
That's why we're here.
I need to keep it real for a second.
That's why we're here.
All right. I need to keep it real. I keep it 100.
Yes, if you will.
If I may. The thing about it is, I understand everybody feels terrified at the notion of criticizing anything that the NFL does, and by people I mean our business. You know, it's not in good taste to criticize the NFL these days. Apparently,
you can get fired for that.
You can't. But I'm just going to use all facts. Okay, the fact is that was the lowest rated Super Bowl in the last 10 years. Now, Ashley, our producer.
Hey, Ash.
I did not say this publicly because it's not a good idea to do that. But I did say it on the record to Ashley so that I had a witness. I did say this was going to be the lowest rated Super Bowl in the last 5 years. I didn't give them enough credit. The last 10 years. True or false?
True.
I called it 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
True.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing that happened in the last 2 weeks swayed me in any way. As soon as the championship weekend was over, I said this is going to be the lowest rated Super Bowl in the last 5 years. Turned out to be 10 years. So close enough. The fact of the matter is, I'm not surprised. I do think that the game was incredibly boring. And I know everyone is saying, like, don't listen to Twitter. And Twitter, you know, I agree. Twitter is a vortex of insanity.
Right.
It's a black hole. It's an echo chamber. All those things are true. You should not live your life based off of what people on Twitter say. It's a bad idea.
President
Not
Trump's
to say
on
that good things haven't come from people getting outraged on Twitter.
Right.
I'm just saying sometimes Twitter is a little off on their outrage
alternate
sometimes.
reality.
True.
Yes.
However, everyone is saying everyone who's watching it, who's wants to enjoy the Super Bowl, felt like it was a bore fest.
Yes.
And it was, and that's okay to say. It's okay to say that the Super Bowl was boring because it was. And the numbers support what I'm saying.
Okay.
Now, had the Super Bowl been an exciting Super Bowl and the numbers would still be bad, I'd still be right. So I'm right either way, which I'm totally cool with. But
You're cool with being right either way?
I'm right either way. It doesn't matter.
But you're okay
we
with that.
expected a high-flying, high-energy, lots of offense, definitely great defense, or at least defensive moments. And it was a great defensive game,
It was a
but defensive moments as opposed to a defensive battle.
Yes.
Didn't turn out that way.
No.
It was not great television. And that's okay to say. The season was incredible. The NFL's not falling apart. They were the highest ratings ever in the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay. It was a great season for the NFL. We had mostly no major injuries.
Yeah, it was a great season up until this point.
Yes. It was very exciting. Lots of offense. Overall, healthy whole season. It ended in a dud, and that's okay to say. That was not an exciting game. Don't hit me with the NFL purity of, we gotta get down. That's what we wanted to see this whole time. in the trenches, a war of trenches. The thing about the Super Bowl is people watch the Super Bowl who are not traditional NFL fans, who don't watch every single Sunday, who don't play fantasy football, who don't bet on every single game. You have a lot of fringe fans, and that was not exciting. And guess what? I'm not a fringe fan, and it was not exciting.
Okay, I too am not a fringe fan, so I rewatched it last night. I put it on at like 8 p.m. Fast forward during the commercials because they weren't good anyways. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just like the echo chamber of the party that I was at. Because one of the first things I talked to Earl about was he said, football's boring, and I was like, I've never even considered it being boring. So I watched it this Super Bowl. This is before the game started. I watched it thinking, Earl, in the back of my mind, football's boring, and I was just like, oh my God.
Earl has the power over you and Ashley to change your minds in any direction.
He lays seeds. But I would say this. I rewatched last night, and I was like, okay, this is a good game. I made sure to do 10 push-ups at every punt to keep myself awake. After 120 push-ups, and after the Sony Michel score, the only drive that was a touchdown score, I fell asleep. Not because it was just late in the evening. The game was actually boring after it was. There's one time that they were in the end zone. Either team. Are in the red zone.
The Rams punted on their first 8 drives.
80 push-ups, yeah, I remember last night. It was okay. I say that to say this. It was a horrendously boring football game near the end, and the entire time the game playing between the 20s. No one wants to see that football, especially not in the Super Bowl. And we, as football fans, seeing the NFL do what it did all season long, this was hurtful.
That's not the game we deserved. No. Okay? Not watching the Patriots win their 6th Super Bowl, tying the Steelers' record of Lombardies.
I'm even over that part.
Not seeing Tom Brady cement his legacy as the greatest quarterback of all time without question. Not seeing Belichick cement his legacy as the greatest football coach of all time, college or professional. Yeah. It was a bore fest. And on top of that, you have the whole storyline with Sean McVay and the Rams and paying the players and like that whole element of it. It's not the game we deserved. And that's okay to say. Don't be afraid to say it was a boring game. It was. It's going to be all right. The NFL's going to be fine. The rating's going to be fine next year. Everyone's going to come back. Everything's going to be good.
13-3.
It's not the game we deserved, okay? That's just all there is to it. And now we can actually have the real conversation of, guess what? We've reached the point where the Patriots dynasty is no longer good for the NFL. And the numbers show that. And that's the reason why I said it to Ashley 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And don't tell me I could influence Ashley to say whatever I want to tell her, because you know that's true. I did not. I did tell her that, and it is facts. Yeah, all right, I'm not lying to the people right now. I really did say it was going to be bad ratings. I believe I actually said it in this room as well, but I'm positive I said it to Ashley.
I believe you.
Anyway, the point is, worst ratings in 10 years. Yeah. That's not an accident. It's not the Rams' fault either. Okay, now obviously the Rams just moved. You don't have a huge, strong fan base in LA. Just driving around LA before the game started, I was like, this does not feel like Super Bowl Sunday. If this was Pittsburgh, everyone on the planet that you saw would have Steelers jerseys on or black and yellow. There'd be signs in every storefront. People would be driving down the street with flags. Like it would be mayhem. Okay, terrible towels tucked into every hat. Okay, yes. That's how it would feel like something big is happening in the city today. And I understand Los Angeles is a big city. They haven't been here that long. Most fans here are Raiders fans. Like there's a lot of things going on there. Right. Fine. Okay. Maybe the Rams played a small part in it. The entire city of New Orleans chose to not watch the game.
Yes, had a big
that
party.
May have played a part in it too.
Yes.
But including the streaming numbers, lowest audience rating in 10 years. Total audience of 107 million. That's still a lot. It's still a lot of people, okay?
Yes.
But the point of the matter is the Patriots are no longer good for the NFL. This dynasty is no longer good for the NFL. People are bored with it. They know exactly what to expect. This game wasn't great. There was no interesting storyline. Leading into Super Bowl week, the NBA dominated every headline. I think we led the show every single day with NBA news.
But a sub-headline to the Super Bowl could be how bad the Rams shit the bed. I said on this podcast last week, the Rams might have to have their worst game possible to lose this game, and they did.
You spoke it into existence.
But that's not the Patriots. I don't want to credit Tom Brady in one of his worst Super Bowl performances that we've ever seen for greatness in a dynasty when the Rams actually laid an egg. Like they actually did not show up.
The Rams are not getting
on offense. On defense, very good.
They were incredible.
Special teams, they had to be good. They punted so much.
Defense and special teams, both teams were incredible.
Yeah,
incredible. The Rams are not getting enough credit for how bad they were on offense.
Yes.
That's fair. I don't know what's going on with Todd Gurley. I need answers, and I need them now. Colin had a great point.
Why lie?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Todd Gurley. Yeah. But if the situation was reversed and it was Belichick, we would be crushing him. That's what happened with Malcolm Butler. I need answers on Todd Gurley, and I need them now. Why you wouldn't run the ball with C.J. Anderson, considering that Todd Gurley hasn't been a factor in your offense in like 2 months anyway, is a whole nother discussion. I don't know what their game plan was. It obviously was a disaster and didn't work. Jared Goff looked rattled, which none of this means anything to me long term because they're going to be back. Jared Goff has shown that he's resilient, that he can have a bad year and come back and still be a franchise quarterback.
He can bounce back from these type of faults.
So I'm not saying it's a disaster with Sean McVay and all this was a lie. They were still in the Super Bowl. They still had an incredible season, and I picked them to get there. Like I think they're going to be. I don't know if they're going to make it to the Super Bowl next year, but they're going to be contenders next year, even if they do lose a few pieces. So overall, long term, it's not a disaster, but that was a horrible showing by the Rams. But stop acting like this was some virtuoso performance by Tom Brady.
Right.
They barely won.
He showed his age in the Super Bowl win more than any other game all season long, in my opinion.
I mean, look, they have a zillion picks. I think they have 6 picks in the first 3 rounds.
And they know what to do with their picks.
They do. They're excellent at drafting. If you want to get better on your team, start trying to poach the Patriots scouting department. Yeah. Okay, like that's the way to go. Overall, I was incredibly disappointed with performance by both teams. I would have I think I could deal with the Patriots winning another Super Bowl had it been a great game that came down to the wire. Yeah. And don't hit me with it was a fourth quarter game-winning drive. Like, get the f*** out of my face with that. Are you kidding me?
I mean, it wasn't not a fourth quarter winning drive. It was, and not to mention, in that drive, the Patriots
like claiming that you average a triple-double scoring 10 points all season long.
If you average a triple-double scoring 10 points, you average a triple-double. That's what it is, straight up. I can't wait for somebody to do that. That's going to be my favorite player when that happens.
It really will, too.
But on that drive, Gronk made the biggest play of the game.
No, Gronk,
at the 1-yard line. Sony Michel, the guy who they thought was going to be the one, was going to score a touchdown, scored the only touchdown. Edelman did, like, all of the stars, even on the defense, Dante Hightower and Stephon Gilmore, like, that's the crazy part. The Patriots stars actually showed up during that time period, around that time period.
That's what the story of the Super Bowl was. It came down to a shit game, the entire game to the fourth quarter, and then in the moment that it mattered, the stars who have experience, Sony Michel obviously not, but everyone else around him, the stars who have experience, Gronk, Edelman, Tom Brady, and their coaching staff did what they do.
And first-round draft pick
so credit to them. And this is not hating. Like, I respect everything that the Patriots do. I respect the greatness that they are. I actually wish that the teams I cared about acted more like the Patriots, because whatever they do equals winning.
They might now. You're at the defensive coordinator and the Miami Dolphins.
I'm very excited about that. Although the Belichick coaching tree has not shown very ripe fruit.
Imitation is not forgiving for them.
I feel differently about this one. I'm optimistic, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the point is, that's what it came down to, which I'm okay with. But the bottom line is, this is not exciting. So everyone needs to stop hitting me with, oh, you just don't appreciate the game. Okay.
Yeah, Joy Taylor doesn't appreciate defensive football.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't want to hear it.
Right.
My favorite highlight from that game was Aaron Donald tossing Tom Brady around. That's the only thing that actually gave me hope that this might turn around in the second half. I even tweeted it for good luck, because I tweeted during the Atlanta Super Bowl, the Atlanta Patriots Super Bowl. I tweeted, this comeback is going to be amazing. Right before the comeback started, I was being entirely sarcastic, and it ended up being the greatest Super Bowl comeback of all time. So I was hoping that I'd just throw a little juju out there, and it will flip this around. It'll turn out being the greatest second half ever. And it was not.
No,
so I guess I used all of that energy on that Super Bowl. You're welcome, Patriots. Yeah. Bottom line is, I'm not hating. They're great. Congratulations, Patriots fans.
Yes.
I guess.
Congrats on the ring, the Jordan ring, Tom Brady.
Right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a great Super Bowl. Nobody outside of Boston enjoyed that Super Bowl.
Football greatness isn't as fun as basketball greatness. As simple as that.
And to your point, like, everyone's like, oh, well, the baseball World Series, not great. Oh, well, the sweep in the NBA Finals, not great. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to see that shit either. I always want more games.
Yeah.
I was pissed about game 1 of this year's NBA Finals, J.R. Smith messing up, because that meant more games. Everyone wants more games, more basketball, more baseball, more World Series. We want more of that. So I'm not saying this is a disaster and those other ones weren't. I'm just saying also include this, and this was not a good game.
Yeah. As
this
a football
was the
purist,
equivalent of a sweep in the NBA Finals.
Agreed. Oh, this game was the equivalent of last year's NBA Finals. It was like exciting at one point in time when there was like, I was like, oh, they got an interception. Oh, this defense might just do something. Oh, they're not calling flags. There's so many calls still left on that field waiting to get called, like driving quarterbacks into the ground. Like there's a lot of calls that the Rams didn't get to even out the calls that they did get them there with the Saints. But I watched it. I was excited, and then after the test, I fell asleep. It was one of those football games you take naps in. It was one of those 12 o'clock games. Yes, it was a nap game.
If that was a regular season game, we would all be like, well, you know, the Patriots won, wasn't good, it was a great performance, whatever. You know, we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
Somebody didn't show
up. That's what we would talk about.
Yes,
we was like, oh, hopefully they meet again in the Super Bowl and it's a better game.
Nope.
It wasn't a good game. It wasn't a good game, and it's not the game that you want fringe fans watching. Okay? It's okay to say it.
Sad.
And the numbers back it up, and everything's going to be fine. Yeah. And they're going to have record ratings next year, and we should just all start praying to the sports gods right now that we get the Chiefs and Cowboys.
Chiefs, Cowboys, Super Bowl next year. Could you imagine?
Yes, I can.
Dak and Patrick. Mahomes and Prescott. Is that his name? Yeah. That's
pretty good.
But Jason Garrett's not going to get to a Super Bowl.
Pretty good.
Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator maybe will get him there, right?
Oh my gosh.
That's going to be really interesting. You see Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott?
Kellen Moore is going to be the head coach of the team next year. We know that, right? You are aware of that, right?
Kellen
not this year. I mean after this year.
Yeah. 2020.
After Jason Garrett's contract is up.
Yeah.
You are aware of that, right?
Right.
I'm not breaking news to anyone with that, right?
Go Cowboys.
Right, that's not news?
Yeah.
Remember when you told me to stop putting dolphin stuff into existence
earlier?
Yeah,
I mean, she's talking about like Stephen Ross wants to. Just stop with that. That's nonsense. That's not happening. I won't allow it. But the thought has crossed your mind that he's going to be the head coach.
Absolutely not.
Yes, it has.
No, it hasn't.
I mean, the writing's on the wall. We might as well just print it.
Listen, Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott, they boys, that's who's going to be the head coach. That's going to be the head coach.
Yes, I think we should mark this down, Donnie. Just put a little, notation or whatever it is that we do.
Well, I don't know what to think. What do we do?
I mean, I don't take care of the archives of the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast, but I feel like this moment should be just put a little
Chiefs,
highlight
Cowboys,
thing or whatever
Super
we
Bowl.
do. Yeah, no, Chiefs, Cowboys, Super Bowl for sure. That's more of what I want. But I'm specifically saying that Kellen Moore will be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys in 2020. Start of 2020.
Donnie, if that happens, you burn this tape. All right, you burn it.
Literally burn it.
Delete it, burn it, wipe it.
We wouldn't use tapes anymore.
Yeah, we don't use tapes anymore. That's not how it works. We burned down the internet.
2019.
Where do they keep that internet
The
thing?
files are in the machine.
Delete the screenshot. How do we get rid of it? With it or quit it? With it? Quit it.
What?
With it. We about to turn up in this bitch.
All right, what am I winning or quitting today?
Julian Edelman was named Super Bowl 53 MVP. The wide receiver is the first wide receiver to win Super Bowl MVP since Deion Branch, and the only one of 7 wide receivers with the Super Bowl MVP. With 3 championships under his belt, Julian Edelman is the future Hall of Famer. With it or quit it?
Did you call him the white receiver?
I mean, that everyone always, like when they look at him, honestly, there should be a different category. White receivers and wide receivers.
Okay. Well, Julian Edelman was a pain in the ass for the Rams all game.
Yes.
10 receptions, 141 yards. Now he is second only to Jerry Rice in NFL postseason history in receptions and receiving yards.
Dang.
However, because of that stat, which is,
That's
respect.
It's for sure.
Clutch gene, hardcore.
Oh, for sure.
It doesn't make you a Hall of Famer, okay? And everyone needs to relax on this. And I don't even know where this came from exactly. Sure. But Nate Burleson said it, I guess, on CBS.
I was screaming it from the beginning.
Burleson said it, but Schefter tweeted something.
Oh, yeah. Schefter
Firestorm.
I watched football, and
this.
I said Julian Edelman, out of all of these wide receivers that have been under the Brady Belichick era, Julian Edelman's been the most consistent and has the most Super Bowls under his belt. And I say that coming from a fan of Deion Branch who went to Louisville, so I was always following his career and rooting for him. Like, Julian Edelman is the biggest piece of this part of this dynasty outside of them.
However, his regular season stats are pedestrian. Okay? Like, they're good. They're okay. He is consistent.
He's been out the first 4 games this season.
There's a couple things.
PEDs.
Yeah, all right, we're gonna get to that in a second. Let's just start with like the stuff that people can't get all in their feelings about. All right, so he's had 499 career receptions in the regular season, 5,390 yards, and 30 touchdowns. That's just okay. All right.
Say it again. What was that?
Okay, so one more time. He has had 499 career receptions, 5,390 yards, and 30 touchdowns. Now he's normal. Great in the regular. Yeah, it's very normal. In fact, it's so normal that let's take a look at someone else. All right, let's see. This guy's had 439 career receptions, 5,816 yards, and 53 touchdowns.
Still playing?
Nope. That'd be Eric Decker. Nobody is putting Eric Decker up for the Hall of Fame. And that's no disrespect to Eric Decker, but like he's not a Hall of Famer, no one would have that conversation. Just because Julian Edelman plays with Tom Brady and has won Super Bowls, albeit he's contributed in those Super Bowls, but let's stop acting like if Julian Edelman was on any other team, we'd be having a conversation about him being a Hall of Famer. He's just not a Hall of Famer. And it's okay, and it's not a diss, and I'm not hating, it's just facts. You have to look at the entire body of work, his entire career, and he just does not have those numbers. Isaac Bruce is not in the Hall of Fame, okay? 1,024 receptions, 15,208 yards, and 91 touchdowns. Yardage total is the 5th most ever. And that's not including the 44 receptions, 759 yards, and 4 touchdowns that Isaac Bruce had in the playoffs, and also won a Super Bowl with the Rams. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Edelman's not even in the conversation. And the last thing I'm going to get to before the thing I'm really going to get to is that if you are talked about whether you should be in the Hall of Fame with the NFL, you're not a Hall of Famer. Like that's how it works. If there's a debate about like, is he in the Hall of Fame? Is he? He's not. That's not how the NFL Hall of Fame works.
That's not true.
It is
That's not true. And okay, Isaac Bruce, think about what type of wide receiver he was. Julian Edelman is a slot receiver. If you're creating an all-time NFL team of like all the best in all of the positions, Julian Edelman arguably would be your slot on a lot of people's teams.
For postseason? Yeah. For regular season?
Results.
Okay.
Results.
I mean, he's consistent, but what is that? Like, he's not a Hall of Famer. The fact that we're even having to have a conversation about it means that he's not a Hall of Famer. It's not like a fringe guy.
No, I feel you, but we'll see though. Like, because like this is him here with them now. I'm always rooting for Matt Guys. I love that a Matt Guy just won a Super Bowl MVP. Obviously, Matt Guys deserve to be in the league or in the Hall of Fame. I love that Jason is a Matt Guy in the Hall of Fame. Mac.
Because you sound a little bit like Mag, and it was
like a MAGA guy.
But
right. That's Tom Brady.
Mac.
The Patriots winning the Super Bowl is the most MAGA thing ever, by the way, this year.
I'm not. That's nonsense. I'm not concerning that, okay? Right. For many reasons, okay? There's black people on the Patriots coaching staff.
I agree.
And on the field,
I agree.
Okay? So let's just relax on that, okay? Edelman is like the Robert Horry. Okay.
Don't do that.
Yes.
Don't reduce
Big
him
shot,
to.
Bob.
No.
Okay. Yes.
What Super Bowl?
Basic regular seasons.
What finals MVP does Robert Horry have?
He has 7 rings.
What MVP does he have?
It is a perfect comparison.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
How?
Actually, Robert Horry should be a Hall of Famer, and Julian Edelman should not. So it's not a perfect. Comparison. And since no one else wants to talk about it, we only want to use stats because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. He did miss the first 4 games of the regular season this year for PEDs.
Fresh legs.
So when Barry Bonds gets in the Baseball Hall of Fame, then we can start having a conversation about Julian Edelman getting into the Hall of Fame.
Make PEDs great again. Listen, like if
it
they help,
like literally a cheater.
He's dedicated to being the best version of himself, regardless of what the rules are.
I agree with you. I do agree with you there. And I have said many times, I really don't actually have a problem with PEDs. Yeah. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I really actually don't. So I'm not being a hypocrite here. I'm just saying, if you're not going to let Barry Bonds into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
With no positive test,
I really don't even want to have the conversation about Julian Edelman until that happens.
He was suspended this year.
I realize it's different sports. But everything Heller is saying is correct on top of all of the very, very clear, very concrete stats that I just read.
Based on the results of this last Super Bowl, if you think your team can make it, you should make sure all of your stars sit the first 4 games. Sony Michel was out and Edelman was out, and they looked great. Everyone who played all the other games, including Tom Brady, looked tired and washed up and old.
All right. What's next?
Okay. The Rams set 2 noteworthy records in Sunday's Super Bowl. Longest punt in Super Bowl history with a 65-yarder from Johnny Hecker, and the least points scored in Super Bowl history with 3 points scored total, which falls clearly on Sean McVay's shoulder. Joy, Bill Belichick proved that Sean McVay is overrated. With it or quit it?
No, quit it.
What? How?
Quit it. Stop it. Stop it. Bill Belichick is the greatest football coach of all time. Okay.
Yes.
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. They have
Clearly.
a very solid, consistent coaching staff.
Yeah.
They have players around them that have been there for a long time. Gronk, Julian Edelman. Okay, their offensive line is great. Their defense played great.
Yeah,
the Rams had an awful game. Their offense was dismal. Todd Gurley was a non-factor. 10 carries for 35 yards, longest run of 16 yards, and his only catch of the day went for a 1-yard loss. C.J. Anderson had 7 carries for 22 yards, so the run game was non-existent, which is a credit to the Patriots defense. But none of this means that Sean McVay is a disaster of a coach. Were they not in the Super Bowl? Did I miss something
Disaster coach versus overrated is 2 different things. The NFL went and try to hire a bunch of guys that can go lose to the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Did I not say don't anoint Sean McVay the next Bill Belichick until he's got 1 ring on a finger?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You told me this. You told me week after week. Yes, 1 ring.
Well, how's it go?
Which one are we doing? Oh, the Beyonce one.
Why is Tyler getting this and you're not?
No, I do. I don't understand the ring. How does that?
I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had the greatest video of all time. Okay, here's the thing. He didn't win a ring, okay? And that's fine. But I never said to anoint him as the next Bill Belichick. You got to win something before you even start on the path of becoming the greatest head coach of all time with 6 Super Bowl rings. Don't put that on me. I never overrated Sean McVay. I think he is a great coach. Yeah. They were in the Super Bowl. He's 33 years old. Guess what? They're going to be back. I feel very strongly about that. Yeah. Jared Goff looked overwhelmed. And guess what? It's his first Super Bowl. He's a kid. It happens, okay? It's not a disaster. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean that how they put their team together was wrong. The defense was incredible. They just couldn't get anything going on offense. And yes, I want answers about Todd Gurley. And if Todd Gurley is 100% healthy, I do want to know what the explanation for the game plan was, because their running game was non-existent.
He wasn't healthy.
So I really don't know what happened there, but it really came down to one play. Like, you got to make that. Jared Goff's not going to throw a potato, okay? Like, it's got to get there on time.
A lot of Jared Goff's passes were bad, and if you look at it, Tom Brady and Jared Goff kind of had similar stats. They both weren't great.
Somebody need to let Jared Goff know that he wasn't playing cornhole, okay? The ball's got to get there a little bit faster than that, okay? That pass took 10 seconds to get to the end zone.
All of the passes were, and the defense, the Patriots defense did play well. The couple good Jared Goff passes were batted down by Patriots defenders. But I guess me being honestly, I'm from this Belichick Patriots tree with Charlie Weiss winning some Super Bowls and then getting a big head coaching job, and I understand that and I feel it and I respect the tradition of things, but in football, teams that have chemistry win games, and that's what I was afraid of for these Rams this entire time. When someone was down, all these stars are they're looking at another stars like, aren't you going to make a play to pick us up? Aren't you going to make a play to pick us up?
That's the biggest point, because what this really came down to was McVay did get out-coached. It doesn't mean that he's overrated, but he did get out-coached because the Patriots made the adjustment that changed the game. When they went to a two tight end offense, it changed the game. It was the adjustment that fixed everything. That's how Gronk was able to get open for the catch and set up for the touchdown that really won the game and made the separation. Okay, so that one drive and that one moment, it was because that one adjustment, and being able to adjust mid-game takes experience, takes knowledge, takes guts, takes comfortability that comes with consistency, and that is what the Patriots have. So it shouldn't be surprising to anyone that the Patriots won that game looking at how that game went. That's what it was going to come down to. Everything's the same. Everything's the same. Everything's the same. It's tied in the fourth quarter. You got to do something different, and they were able to do that because of who they are, and they're a cohesive unit. So you're right about that. So next year, the Rams now have that experience. I'm not saying they're going to be back in the Super Bowl next year, but they're still going to be contenders, and then they will get other people to fill those slots. That's how it works. I'm not saying that they're going to be back. It's very hard to get back to the Super Bowl. The Eagles showed that this year. So, but everyone just relax on the McVay being outcoached or McVay being overrated, and it's a disaster. And now everyone's talking about, all these teams that hired McVay prodigies. Look how silly you look. They're still in the Super Bowl. And guess what? If you thought that winning the Super Bowl was the thing that was going to validate that hire for you, woo!
That is true.
Good luck, buddy.
Ground.
You should have felt a little bit stronger about that. If the confidence that you had in the coach that you hired from the McVay coaching tree was based off of whether they beat the Patriots in their 6th Super Bowl, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, I mean, what a joke.
Yeah. No, honestly, like, Frank Wright possibly could be the next Belichick, because you got to find somebody who won a Super Bowl in the big game as the coordinator of their side of the ball first, in my opinion. Because Belichick had 2 as a defensive coordinator before he even got a chance to win his own. It's just like there's a level. There's levels to this.
Yeah, everyone's overreacting to this whole Sean McVay thing. I feel like it's not the end of the world. Everything is not an absolute. Just because he lost the Super Bowl doesn't mean that the Rams are a disaster. Yeah. It's not. Everything is not black and white. I think there's lots of things that went wrong in that game, which I need explanations for. But it doesn't mean that all the hires that they picked from Sean McVay were going to work because they won the Super Bowl and are not going to work because they didn't win the Super Bowl. Yeah. Maybe it's just because they didn't have enough experience to be head coaches, and you guys all overreacted to what was happening with the Rams. Maybe that's what it was.
I'm ready to give Wade Phillips another team after that performance, because he did a great job.
Oh yeah, and look, like that's what it comes down to. Wade Phillips is incredibly confident because he's been doing this a long time, which is why Sean McVay hired him.
Yeah, you run that part, I got this part. He ain't got that part.
No, you didn't have that part. No. All right, what's next?
LeVar Ball is back in the headlines after A, calling out Luke Walton and the Lakers for giving his son a loser's mentality, son being Lonzo, obviously. B, saying Lonzo is better off with the Suns than the Pelicans. And C, saying Anthony Davis is good but not a winner. I think if LeVar's talking, Lonzo's walking. Joy, Lonzo Ball will not be a Laker after the trade deadline. With it or quit it?
I'm going to quit it, actually. I think he is going to be a Laker because I think the Lakers have finally come to their senses.
Yes.
Excuse me.
You good. She's just coughing real quick. She's about to talk to you about why the Lakers came to their senses.
Yes. So the Pelicans were asking for the entire franchise, all of the banners. They'd like Shaq.
They want a Magic Johnson.
Yes, they want Magic, and they'd also like Genie's shoe collection. And the Lakers are just not having it. Honestly, what they're asking for is insane, and we'll talk about it in a second. But it seems like the Lakers have finally been like, "Excuse me."
Right. It's like, guys, pushy.
Jose.
Yes.
Who the f*** are you talking to?
Right. Okay. Who do you think the brow is?
Excuse me.
That's what it is.
No.
Yes. Thank God they did that.
We'll get to that in a minute. So as far as that goes, I'm going to quit that. I do think that he's going to end up staying with the Lakers, which is a good thing. However, what is LeVar doing?
He's broke his silence. Broke his vow of silence.
This comes back to the Luke Walton thing always, okay? Luke Walton is not the issue with the Lakers.
No.
Okay? Everyone is selling out for LeBron James. LeBron James is a short-term solution for a championship. You want a championship? You go and get LeBron James, get another star to play alongside him, and put some shooters around him. Okay? Yeah. So LeVar calling out, this reaction by LeVar is based all off of the fact that Lonzo has been rumored to be in every single trade package that has been reported to the Pelicans, and he doesn't want him to go to New Orleans. So the quote about him being better off in Phoenix, I mean, do you really feel like he'd be better off in Phoenix? Of course not. He'd be better off with the Lakers.
Yes.
But it's because he doesn't want him to go to New Orleans. So the quote about Luke Walton, I think we all pretty much knew what LeVar's feelings were about Luke Walton for quite some time now. It's just been quiet. And as far as AD goes,
he ain't wrong.
He's not wrong.
He is not wrong. There's a difference between players and winners, and I will scream that to the high heavens as long as I can. And as soon as Chris Paul wins a championship, I'll stop saying it, because he's the perfect example of what I'm talking about. There's a difference.
There is a difference, and that's not. There's probably some confusion about how I feel about AD coming to the Lakers, and I'm just gonna make it clear right now. I do think the Lakers need Anthony Davis. Yeah. They just need more than just Anthony Davis. It's not going to be LeBron and Anthony Davis leading the Lakers to a championship in the West. They're going to need not just a lot more. They're going to need at least 2 very consistent shooters. We're like, that guy, shooter. That's what you think of. Klay Thompson, shooter. And Klay Thompson is even on another level because Klay Thompson plays great defense.
Yeah.
So you really need shooters and Anthony Davis and a couple other role players. Okay? I no way am I saying they don't need Anthony Davis just because he's not a winner, but I don't think of the Pelicans as a winning organization either. So Again, LeVar tells no lies.
I would say I don't want to,
except for Luke Walton, because I don't think that Luke Walton is the problem.
Right. And I don't want to be the LeVar's right about everything podcast, but let's look at the stat line of Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and Josh Hart, all those guys when Lonzo's not on the floor. Like, Lonzo is a huge distributor. He's a big part of this team. He was a part of how they distributed the ball last year, and they weren't even doing much scoring then.
Yeah. I mean, LeVar is mostly right.
I don't want to. I mean, when you're right, he's wrong about milk, though. He got to stop drinking.
Yeah, he's got to stop.
Milk.
Yeah.
He's got some point. You just got.
Although he said that's why I'm small.
Right.
Which he might be right about.
No, that's I know. They're definitely kids drink milk.
I drank milk
8.
growing up, but it was like, I don't like the vitamin D. It's like paint.
And there's like a chunky milk commercial. Remember that one? I think we just jumped the gun for the and
ew. What?
Ugh.
Chunky milk?
It was a
you know what? There's nothing more disgusting of all food items, than cottage cheese. Who eats cottage cheese?
Dogs.
Who eats cottage cheese?
Dogs love cottage cheese.
Who here eats cottage cheese? Ariana, how?
John with Splenda. Oh, with something else gross.
With Splenda sprinkled on top.
Cottage cheese.
Like a dessert. It's amazing.
Dessert, you said? Oh my God. Honestly.
It is the texture of puke.
I mean, I'm not. Let me not. I'm gonna lay out.
It's the consistency.
Some white takes that I'm
and
gonna
it
keep
has
myself.
the thing that
is bad. Throw it away in the container. Why y'all selling this stuff?
Right. It is corrupt.
Yes, the FDA should be banned because they let that shit come out. Cottage cheese
believe you
with a little
guys
house
use
cottage
cheese.
on it. Like you
It's blue cheese. It's the same consistency.
I feel kind of the same way.
Honestly,
about blue cheese.
It's a guilty pleasure. It's like NSYNC.
Okay,
Blue cheese is a guilty pleasure.
You eat blue cheese?
I stay away from it now, but if it's there, I'm not gonna be like, who put this here? I'm gonna be like, who? Is this their blue cheese? They make this in house.
So disappointing when they're supposed to bring ranch with the wings and they bring blue cheese.
That is okay.
It's the worst.
No, one sauce should have a ranch, one sauce should have a blue cheese.
Ashley's about to hop on the mic right now and complain that we didn't have ranch in our house.
Yes, I was gonna say this is why we didn't want to talk about this. You don't have ranch in your household, and I do think that's low-key wild. I keep 60-calorie ranch in mine, Hidden Valley. Shouts out.
Okay, so I had ranch at our last home.
Yes.
Okay, but I did not bring all of our condiments over because that's a lot of moving, and I just was tired.
But you clearly went to the grocery store, or
I had
Instacart went to the grocery store
since I moved. Yes.
So
I'm no longer allowed to use Instacart, so I have to go to the grocery store.
Okay. So
you know what Instacart is? What is that? Y'all made that up?
It's very convenient app where you have all of your groceries delivered to you, and yes, it's been taken away from me. So,
but how do you accidentally get something you don't need?
What do you mean?
When you go to the grocery store, you accidentally pick up some stuff you don't need. That's part of going to the grocery store. That's good.
And she still neglected to pick up ranch.
Well, okay. I'm sorry I didn't have ranch for you, Ashley, to dip your pizza in.
That's a good point, though.
What?
Ranch is no longer a salad dressing.
Exactly.
Ranch is for pizza.
It's
you
why
having ranch on salad?
It's why I don't have any because
ranch
I have
is a Swiss
salad
Army knife
in the house.
sauces.
I have
you can put it with anything.
Outside the Midwest.
No, you don't
outside
put
the
ranch
Midwest,
on. Listen, stop.
Ranch is not a salad dressing.
You learned very recently that a Pittsburgh salad is salad with French fries on it.
Yeah,
okay, right? Like it's an absurd thing. I recognize that, but I also don't eat Pittsburgh salads anymore.
Crispy
just
fries or fat fries?
Just like I'm an adult, so I don't put ranch on my salad.
There is no way.
You know when I get ranch on my salad? When it's a side salad at like
Red Lobster?
Yes. And it's like, this lettuce may not even actually be lettuce.
Right,
so like, let me just put ranch on it. I don't know.
When they serve dry lettuce at restaurants.
Like a sliver of carrot, okay, and a half a grape tomato.
Big tins.
That's when
I don't know how
the
I found
hot lettuce
myself.
that comes on like in big trays is sitting on the lasagna.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Of course,
like that type of
then
stuff.
I will drown it in ranch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I found myself being like the advocate for ranch on a salad, but that. Ranch goes with literally everything. French fries. Okay, if we want to talk about weird ass
Listen,
Pittsburgh
dog, I love ranch. I'm just saying,
Detroit
I'm
loves
32
putting
years
ranch on
old. I
French
can't just
fries.
be eating
It's
ranch
a big
on
thing.
Why not?
I don't have ranch in my house right now.
They took your Instacart away.
And they took my Instacart away.
Instacart sponsor us.
It was you had a very good meal. It was you could indulge in other things that aren't healthy.
Yes, we
I
had fried
appreciate
chicken,
you not having
greens,
The greens were amazing.
yams, macaroni and cheese, and we got pizza, which was a good call by Earl, but we did not get ranch.
Yeah.
And if it
Not a
bothers
good
you so
cross.
much, you could have just went and got some.
Yeah.
Or bring your own ranch. Yeah. Hot sauce in my bag swag. Let's go.
We were talking about Lonzo before.
Hear ye, hear ye. The NBA is petty. So as we discussed earlier, the Super Bowl was boring.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
It's all right. And everyone's going to be in
was.
their feelings. But it's the lowest rated Super Bowl in 10 years. I called it. And NBA players were quick to jump on the it's boring bandwagon, a.k.a. said their feelings like everybody else did.
Right.
So a few of them decided to weigh in. Let's start with Josh Hart. Best part of the whole halftime show was SpongeBob opening for Travis Scott. Big deal that SpongeBob made an appearance, though.
Yes.
It was actually low-key the most exciting part of the Super Bowl.
It was exciting because of the potential. He was like, oh, are they going to do the SpongeBob song? They did not.
Yeah, and it was also an incredible disappointment because, can we say it? Ashley gambled. She put a little wager on whether SpongeBob was going to make an appearance, and we all thought she won like $1 bajillion, and it turns out she got it wrong because it was not the right song with the SpongeBob appearance. I know.
Ashley didn't win that money. She was talking about winning.
No. The most money. Okay. Well, now it seems like I didn't win anything. The most money I won came from Harder to Breathe.
Oh, so she did get that right.
I know that, but you didn't get the SpongeBob bet.
Yeah, the $3,000 from SpongeBob.
Yeah,
because they had to play that song.
They played the song. Yeah. So everything I just said was right.
Well, she.
Can you turn off your damn computer? Whose
both
computer?
y'all.
Yeah, Donnie, turn your computer off, dog. You can't be doing that in here. We're trying to make a podcast, digital show, my guy.
Ashley and Heller had a rough episode.
Burn that.
It's not your strongest performance.
Yeah, you guys had a rough episode.
Thank you, Ariana, for keeping us poised.
Yes, thank you.
Ariana, the one that likes cottage cheese and Splenda together.
Yes, her.
Awesome.
That
Awesome.
one.
Cool.
She's allowed to eat cottage cheese because she's not
just
derailing
making
us.
sure.
Right, yeah.
Nicholas Batum said France won the Soccer World Cup final 4-2. Who's saying that soccer is a boring sport now? He's not wrong.
I honestly, Atlanta's football team, like their actual soccer club football team, has scored more points in that stadium than the Rams did. That's
fun fact.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, not very
What?
perspective. It's fair. It's fair. Yeah. The thing about it is he's actually right. Like, people always complain about how boring soccer is. Soccer's boring. It's not American. All right, well, you better say that Super Bowl was boring then, because it was 3-3 with 7 minutes left in the fourth.
That was basically a soccer game, and that's why I enjoyed it a little bit, because it was like that's how soccer games play out. It's like dun 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 dun. Oh, something
soccer
exciting
is
happened.
far more exciting than that game was.
True.
CJ McCollum said, anyone got a new show for me to start on Netflix? By the way, Earl and I have been watching the second season of Punisher. Not strong.
The girl they put all their chips in, the little extra one.
Incredibly annoying
Get
character.
her off the screen.
Incredibly annoying.
By Amy or whatever your name is.
Why is she there?
She's-
Where did she come from? Why did he choose to save her over the awesome bartender?
Yo!
Why is she in every single episode?
Spoiler. Spoiler.
He's not killing anybody. Where
not.
are all the dead bodies? You're the Punisher. I want to see death.
Ain't punishing
every 10 seconds.
I mean,
there
at
should be
least
a body on the ground, completely mauled.
10 people die every episode. At least should be.
Yes, at least.
That's why we're watching season 2.
And he's shooting everybody. What is this? I need violence. It's I don't know what's
how many episodes in are you?
I don't even know where she came. We still don't even know where she came from. What's her name even?
I'm like 5 episodes in. I couldn't fall asleep after the Super Bowl because I was just like, what the just happened? And I ended up watching a bunch of Punisher, and it was as boring as it needed to be for me to be on Twitter reading all the Super Bowl tweets.
Everyone is like, now we're so far into it, we have to finish it.
You got to. And they're not going to be a third season.
And
they dropped them.
Come on. I mean, what's the guy's name?
The pastor dude?
No, pastor dude's awful. Don't know where he came from either. Yeah. No, the other guy, the Scarface guy.
Oh, don't. His brother, Frank's brother, Billy Russo.
Boy, half your face was on that carousel mirror. Now you got 2 scratches on your face. You look like you got hit by a cat. Okay,
Billy Russo. He's more interesting than the Punisher storyline right now.
That whole mask for?
Because you got little seal scar.
You got a little scratch on you.
You don't have shit on you. A cat could have. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Absolutely. Yes. Somebody threw a cat at you.
Yes, and you got it off in due time.
All right.
Yes. It's bad. I'm glad you. I'm glad.
I had to say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
so I'm not going to recommend Punisher 2 to CJ McCollum.
We don't know.
Season 1 though, great.
They could change it. Oh wait, I was about to say, is True Detectives turned up at all?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna get around to it.
Marsha Ali, she's done. She's done.
It starts so slow. And then finally, it gets better.
It's getting there.
Season 2?
Yeah,
it gets better.
It's hanging in there. Season 3.
Season 3, yeah.
Yeah, it's season 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are you judging it based on season 1?
I mean, they've all been slow.
Right, but does it actually turn up?
This is looking more like 1 than 2.
Oh, okay. So I shall continue then. I was going to continue.
I'll tweet during it and I'll watch it.
Okay, and then finally, LeBron James said, "Man, where's Shams, Woj, Haynes, McMenamin at?" Well, LeBron, you have that power.
Yes, you
Shoot
are
him
the
a text
one.
and let him know.
You could tweet somebody, text somebody.
Imagine. I actually feel like that's a little unfair by LeBron. Like, you have the power to wreck this Super Bowl for all time with one little nugget, okay?
He almost did with that one. And that wasn't even a nugget. It was just a criticism.
Yes, it was. He ended up saying some nice things about the Super Bowl later, of course, because, you know, it's LeBron. It's got to be liked. But overall, there was a lot more pettiness than just this. This is just, we narrowed it down to these
to the big ones.
For time purposes and also because you guys all have Twitter so you can look for yourself. But basically, the NBA was being really petty about the NFL. NFL's going to be fine. Yeah. Like I said, they're going to have great ratings next year. We're praying for Chiefs-Cowboys Super Bowl. Lots of good things. It was a great season overall.
Baseball's
very happy with
getting
it.
excited.
Just ended with a dud.
Yeah,
chill. Bump the brakes.
Chill. We have a lot more regular season basketball games to like before we start caring about baseball.
But low key, throwing baseball in it, like everyone talking about how great the Super Bowl was, like that's exactly how baseball became a regional sport. All right, everyone talking about like baseball's America's game. First of all, Second, the reason that baseball has become a regional sport is because the most exciting thing in baseball is a no-hitter, which means no offense.
Nothing happens.
I'm gonna watch 3 hours of nothing happening.
Yay!
3 hours of a pitching duel. Wonderful. That's the point. So nobody encouraged what happened in the Super Bowl to continue. It's not going to. Offensive explosion's going to be back next year. Everything's going to be fine. Sky's not falling. It's not the end of the world. NBA's being petty, which I like, obviously, but it's all going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Nice crown, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I picked it up in your locker.
Love yourself, girl. Self-love.
It's time for high key, low key.
Okay, high key, low key. High key, the Lakers are offering everything in the entire planet for Anthony Davis. Low key, this is so temporary. So the Lakers have kind of backed off now. Mm-hmm. They're saying that the Pelicans are being outrageous with their trade requests, which we had already discussed this, but yeah, they're doing too much. Like, you can't give them, what were they asking for?
8 pieces, I think. Well,
8 picks and
two first rounds. Stevenson, Beasley, Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and Lonzo, and then 2 picks. So that's
I mean, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The answer is no. Okay, so last week the trades were insane. Obviously, we didn't discuss Porzingis, which was huge. Just phenomenal.
Good for Dallas.
Great for Dallas.
Right,
Luka and Porzingis are going to be killer. Instantly makes them contenders, and it's very interesting for New York because now they have space to sign 2 whales. Whether they will get them or not is another conversation, but I do think that there is a good chance that Kevin Durant ends up in New York.
Yeah.
Scott Perry and Kevin Durant are close. He was with the Supersonics when they drafted Kevin Durant. His family knows him. He and Steve Mills are player friendly. Yeah. So it's a situation where it could actually work. Like, it's very likely that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving could be in New York next year, which is great for the NBA.
They just need to be on.
Oh, yeah. Plus Fizdale.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a very player-friendly situation, minus the owner, James Dolan, who's been a traditional disaster.
Right.
But to his credit, he's put together a very player-friendly front office and coaching staff, so that's interesting.
Anything can happen.
Yes. Now, there's some other trades that are going to happen this week that could change some things around, but obviously the Anthony Davis thing is the thing that we're all watching. Nobody expected the Porzingis thing to happen. Now, I know Knicks fans are upset about it, like, whatever, and burning his jersey. So they traded him. It's like, he said he wasn't happy with the way that the franchise was going. Like, is that a hot take or something? You guys feel good about the state that your team's in right now?
Right.
Like, I don't get that.
The only person that's talking positively about the Knicks at that time was like Enes Kanter, and every time he talks, we laugh.
No, I mean, like, he may like being there. That's fine. But, like, Porzingis didn't ask for a trade. He just said, we need to be better. Yeah. And then they traded him. So guess what? I'm pretty sure they were already planning on trading him.
Yeah, I mean.
They weren't like, how dare you say we'd be better? Get in the out of here. Like, that's not how it works. I'm pretty sure that's been a conversation in the works. Okay, so he's gonna end up being contenders with Luka in Dallas. It's a good thing. I don't know what's gonna happen with this Anthony Davis situation. All I'm saying is there is no reason the Lakers should give them their entire young core and 8 draft picks. And I'm glad that the Lakers have finally taken a look in the mirror. Like, excuse me, girl, love yourself first. Okay,
yes. You
love
can do
yourself first.
You don't need him.
Love, honey.
Yes.
Don't forget it.
Make it happen without him so that when you finally get him.
You are an independent woman. You make your own money. You have your own car, your own house. Okay? You were here before him. You're going to be here after him.
We have Magic Johnson, Pelinka. We are a bad.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay? You are a bad bitch, Lakers. Okay? Let's just say it. All right? You are. You are a bossy bad bitch, and you do not need to give up 8 picks and your entire young core for Anthony Davis. You do need Anthony Davis, though, so figure it out. Yeah. And while you're at it, also look for some shooters, because you need a lot.
The way we need to keep our eye on is, the way Kyrie Irving has been ruffling feathers at this point in time, I wouldn't be surprised if Boston traded him and really messed some stuff up. Gordon Hayward is doing nothing. Like
he's not the same since that injury.
The Boston, watching the Celtics and what they do is going to be huge.
But the bigger point is, and all that, just to wrap this up, is that whatever you do when you get LeBron James needs to be for the moment. So you got to live in the moment. Okay, be here now. Yes. You can't think long term. You can't worry about what's going to happen to your franchise in 10 years because, spoiler alert, you're going to be a disaster. You have to leverage everything that you have to get LeBron James. Now, don't do that trade. Okay, so when I say everything you have, I mean everything you have within reason. Okay, right. Don't disrespect yourself. Love yourself.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Self-love, honey.
Love yourself.
All right, that's
Lakers.
You know what I'm saying. You don't need him. You do need him, but like just not. You don't need to do everything. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But like you have LeBron, it's temporary. This is not a long-term solution. Just take a look at the Cavs. Just take a look at the Heat. This is how it works. All right, you're not special. You are special, honey. Okay.
The Lakers are special. The Lakers are special. As you said, she's a bad bitch. Next high key.
Okay, but you do need him though. But love yourself. All right. High key. So the Miami Dolphins have announced their new coach, Brian Flores.
Yep.
High key. I love the new hire. Low key. We should all love the new hire. So the Dolphins have a black GM and president in Chris Greer, and now they have a black head coach in Brian Flores. So there's a lot riding on this. He was the only black coach hired in this new head coaching wave with all of the 8 openings.
After all the black ones got fired.
Right.
Majority.
Not all, but a lot. A lot. So
we
now,
have a lot, period, and a lot of them
now it's Brian Flores, Mike Tomlin, Anthony Lynn, and Ron Rivera is obviously the other minority coach left in the NBA. So there's a lot actually riding on this. I'm sorry?
You said NBA, sorry.
I mean, NFL, sorry.
Yes.
There's a lot riding on this. And I actually like that. The thing I like most about this hire is that the Dolphins actually gave him a 5-year guaranteed contract.
Ooh.
So consistency is very important. And he is a Belichick, coaching tree product.
Yeah.
They did hold the Rams to 3 points in the Super Bowl. So you got to love that.
Yeah.
He's a defensive play caller there. He has a lot of experience. And I like this for the Dolphins. Now, this is all depending on if they get a quarterback. So Ryan Tannehill is, he's Ryan Tannehill. Like, it is what it is. I think we know what Ryan Tannehill is at this point. There's a lot of feelings like he's not going to be there next year. So what do? I don't know. Ashley's over here talking about Stephen Ross wants Tua in 2020. I'm very against that.
No.
I think that's a disaster.
Don't do
that. If they cut Ryan Tannehill, they'll have a $13 million cap hit for this year, but they won't have a $13 million. They won't have to pay him the $13 million in the year after that. Yes, Ashley. You look like you want to say something.
You got the mic to your face and we say your name and you look surprised.
It was like here.
No,
you had it in your mouth.
There's no
we look
it's literally like right here.
Because we pay attention to social cues over here, so please.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
All right. See, this is why I like sitting over there.
I mean, it's very distracting. Like, what's up?
How ironic is it that Stephen Ross did like the anti-Sean McVay is the next, everyone wants the next Sean McVay, and hired the dude that beat Sean McVay.
Yeah.
And just one as a coordinator.
The one anti.
Yes. No, it's very good. I love the hire. I think it's great. And more importantly, I like that they're actually going to give him some time to develop a team. You need time. You're not going to get it done in 1 year. You're not going to get it done in 2 years. You need some actual time to build not only a culture, which the Dolphins desperately need, you need to find a quarterback. Tannehill's not the guy. So whether you keep Tannehill for another year and take someone this year and let him groom him, I don't know if that works with the salary cap. It sounds like it probably doesn't. But whatever you need to do, get it done, and he's got 5 years to do it, so I like that.
Do you know why it's 5 years? The Dolphins looked at the AFC East, and they were like, well, if Tom Brady says he's going to retire at 45, we'll give him up to make the team as good as they can so we could possibly win the division the 1 year after Tom Brady retires.
Well, yeah, you got to start with your division first.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with that. All right. Kobe Bryant.
My guy. My guy, Bean.
It's really one of my favorite sounds of all time. So high key, Kobe sounds big wild, and high key, he's Kobe Bryant, so it's extra big wild.
Double high key.
Double high key. Low key, he's totally right. So Kobe Bryant said this about James Harden.
I don't think that style is ever going to win championships. But at the same time, you have to keep your team's head above water to win games. So you have to do what you have to do to win games, and he's doing that. Right now, I think.
So are you saying you don't think James Harden and the Rockets, as constructed, can win a title?
Not with this style of play, it won't win.
All right, so we've been saying that the Rockets are not going to win a championship as currently constructed for some time now, despite Rockets fans being very, very angry with us. They did not. Yeah, shout out Houston. Yeah. H-Town. They're 5th in the West, and Harden's usage rate right now is 40.2. It's on pace to be the second highest in NBA history, behind Russell Westbrook's MVP season, which is a lot. But obviously everyone is kind of laughing about this a little bit because it's like Kobe with the ball.
Okay, no. Don't do that, because the Bible of Kobe has been written. It's being written currently. That was the Old Testament. This is the New Testament.
Oh, this is New Testament Kobe.
This is New Testament Kobe.
This is AD Kobe.
Yes, and he's right. And I'm glad that Harden took it seriously.
Well, Harden did take it seriously. Actually, Harden handled it pretty well.
Yeah, I was proud.
It was a very respectful response.
Yeah.
He basically said that he's, they're not healthy right now, so he has to do that, which I actually agree with.
Yes.
But I also have seen what James Harden does when they are healthy, and it's not much different.
Here's the thing, because whatever it is that makes the Houston Rockets have to play iso ball to get there, once you get to the playoffs and Harden needs other people to help contribute, he throws them the ball and they don't know what to do with it. They're not used to getting assists from Harden to score. They're not used to having to put up 15 and doing anything, because Harden does it all. Well, and they win that way.
I mean, they're not going to win a championship this year. He's likely going to win MVP, though. So,
what does that mean anymore?
Giannis is not going to win MVP. I'm off that now.
Heller, you had something to say?
No.
Okay, so stop reaching for the mic. Listen, both of y'all over there, y'all need to just look at what am I doing? Right? Am I crazy?
No, it's very distracting.
Yeah.
I like that you're starting to turn into like a diva talent.
That's what I was about to say. It's like, do I gotta put on my diva talent hat? Like, hey, y'all need to settle down.
Starting to turn into a diva
talent. We were watching the Lady Gaga documentary, and Earl said I act just like Lady Gaga, which I took as just one of the greatest compliments of my life. Ashley's agreeing with me, which he said Ashley would agree with me.
Oh, man,
he said
that's
she's
great.
very incredibly dramatic.
Congratulations. I'm gonna get there.
And this is the thing. This is a note for you. Okay.
Talk to me.
No one takes you seriously unless you freak out, and that is a fact.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Woo! That is a fact. Until you freak out on someone, people are going to take advantage of you. They are going to try you, and they are not going to take you seriously as a talent. It's just, and it sounds like it sounds crazy, but it's just the best advice I can give you.
When I was going into high school.
That said, pick who you have the freak out with.
Right.
Of
course.
Okay.
Yeah. That advice is about to cost you.
When I was in high school, everybody thought of me as like
wise, but like I mean, it's a fact. Like, it's really like prison mentality, right?
For sure.
People are gonna try you.
I'm telling you, when I got to high school,
like, I'm not
everybody
suggesting
thought
you put hands on someone, but I'm just saying, like, I can give you many examples. I'm not going to, but Ashley does not appreciate that I don't snap on everybody. You got to pick who you snap on.
Yeah. Oh, always. I mean, like when I got to high school, I was a very loving guy. I thought Brandon's like good, fun guy. And I was like, you know what? I need to fight one of these motherfuckers to get some respect right here. Somebody said something racist. I jumped on it, beat him up. My nickname was Fighter after that. All through high school.
It's an important thing.
It's beautiful. You got to let them know that you're not for play.
No, I'm not for play.
No. I'm not here for that. And y'all stop doing the mic shit.
Yes.
Decide you're gonna speak or not.
For you too. Stop picking up the microphone.
Yeah, if y'all gonna have the mic, hold the mic, have it in your lap. You're gonna do like this. You thinking about stuff to say. If you're gonna say something, say something. If not, you're gonna f us up.
Harden doesn't play any defense.
Thank you. That's not easy if you just drop that in.
Yes. That's actually a good point for them. See? Just contribute. Just go for it.
We have the mic for a reason. Yes. We want to hear from you guys.
That's why we're talking.
All right. Loser Power Rankings.
These are the losers of the week.
I think actually doing that jingle, it has like that prepared me for my Maroon 5 impression.
Wow, okay.
You know what I mean? Because they hit the high note so well.
Yeah, so well.
Take me by the hand and I'll show you. Loser Power Rankings.
Is it a Maroon 5 impression or Adam Levine impression?
I mean, it's Adam Levine, obviously.
Yeah.
You know.
It's one and the same.
All right. So speaking of Adam Levine, then the Maroon 5 disappointing halftime show. So with Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
But I think also maybe the Super Bowl commercials as a whole have kind of just become like not a thing because you can get them on the internet before.
Yeah, they try to tease them.
Yeah, like it used to be a whole thing where you didn't know what to expect.
And they were good.
Some of them you've already seen them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew Cardi B was gonna have a Pepsi commercial. It was gonna be funny.
Yeah,
because she posted the thing and she's like,
yes, the Super Bowl used to not be able to take your eyes off of it from start to finish. You missed something, you missed it.
There were no bathroom breaks at all.
No.
There was a quick bathroom break as soon as it got to the halftime, right before the recap, they're setting up for the halftime show. That's the only time you had to go to the bathroom in the entire game. And now it's like, I'll see him on social media afterwards.
I missed the NFL commercial because I was just like, I don't need to be watching any of this.
So the Chance the Rapper commercial was a big deal. I missed it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, what? That's the first time I heard it.
I did like the Bud Light commercial. I also missed it. I saw it on social media.
Which one?
Where they
the Game of Thrones one?
Yeah, the Game of Thrones one. Yeah. But I did like the T-Mobile what to eat one. That was funny.
All the T-Mobile ones just invaded our brains.
Yeah, the T-Mobile ones were actually strong.
Yes.
Not Super Bowl strong, but just like in general strong commercials.
Right. Like Chevy, I'm going to show you a bunch of commercials in a row strong.
Yeah. And the NFL commercial was great. I could have used a little more diversity on the female side, but overall, if I'm just gonna like give one critique,
100 years into the game, we allow a female to hold a ball once and pass it immediately.
Yes, right, strong. But it was a good commercial. It was funny.
Very funny.
So that's not strong year for the Super Bowl commercials. That might be a dead thing.
What's the guy who picked up the ball and is he a Dolphins guy? The old Gazonka? With the guy, the one who didn't look like he needed to be holding the ball and he picked it up and ran with it. The guy, the main guy, everybody's saying that they...
Larry Zonka?
Is that
or are you talking about Franco Harris?
Franco Harris.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I knew it was going to piss you off. That's why I asked. I didn't know who it was. He should see whoever Brian Urlacher's seeing for his hair stuff.
It's washing over me, very just like painful. All right. Also, the Sean McVay coaching tree hires. Everyone's freaking out about it. I'm not freaking out about it because if you base your confidence in your head coaching hire on whether the head coach that had a beer with your current head coach winning a Super Bowl or not against Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, you shouldn't be hiring head coaches. Yes. That's just a fact.
Shaky ground to start
I don't have any problem with any of the hires. Good for them. Congratulations for knowing the right people and being in the right spot at the right time and apparently being white this year, okay? So that's fine, all right? That you made a decision, you got to stick with it. It should have nothing to do with whether they won the Super Bowl or not. It's nonsense.
Shouts out to being white this year.
Everyone's
Still
they hired the Rams assistant, Zach Taylor. Like, okay, what difference does it make?
Right.
What happened? Like, they had a bad game, so now all of a sudden he's a bad hire? Like, that's not the way that you should hire a head coach.
Yeah.
It's just not. Like, Cliff Kingsbury, like, what He's still Cliff Kingsbury. It had nothing to do with Sean McVay. None of this. Matt LaFleur, none of that had anything to do with Sean McVay losing the Super Bowl. If that's what you were basing your confidence on I mean, shame on you. You should not be hiring head coaches.
Wait, can I say something? Because you always tell me to correct something when something's going with your hair. One of your curls is interlooped with your earring, and it's been for a long time. And I thought it was like a cool aesthetic, but like maybe we should fix it.
It's not so. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I got it.
Yes. Self-love, girl.
Yes.
Okay. Finally, now that Tom Brady has his MJ ring, he's now being put into the conversation with Michael Jordan. That's not going to happen. Like, I know everyone's very excited about the 6th ring for Tom Brady, but let's just stop it because you're not touching MJ.
I think he's surpassed MJ with that 6th ring. Because NBA and NFL are 2 different leagues, and it's much harder to win championships in the NFL. That's why he's the only person that has it. As Colin Cowherd pointed out today, 13 NBA players have 6 rings. 1 in the NFL has 6 rings. Enough said.
You're not taking MJ away from us.
I don't want to either. Tom Brady did.
No,
Tom Brady took it away.
No,
Bill Belichick took MJ away from us.
No.
It's Bill Belichick's fault.
But it's no one's fault because it's not happening. I refuse to allow it.
Okay.
I am the keeper of truths, and that is just not happening.
Okay.
I refuse to allow it. So anyone who's having that conversation, stop it. It's not allowed.
How could you argue against it? You have to say anything to argue
He
against
shall not be named. It's not allowed. All right? You're not touching MJ. He is the greatest ever, and that's it. There's nothing else to talk about.
Tom Brady has 6 Super Bowl rings.
That's very nice. Good for him.
He has as many as your beloved Steelers.
I mean, that's just, it's really, really.
First Franco Harris, now that.
Yeah, it's really
I'm just saying, like, let's be real. Like, I don't like that Todd Tom has 6 rings, but he does.
You're fixing for a meltdown. All right, what do we have in the Migos Culture Reports?
The Super Bowl 53 halftime show starring Maroon 5 and featuring Travis Scott, Big Boy, and Sleepy Brown, has been under scrutiny since Adam Levine and his band were named to headline the show a couple months back. Now that hip-hop is the #1 music genre in America, fans of the halftime show were hoping that Atlanta-based act would headline the historic event. Instead, we got what we always get: a fun show to watch, a hard show to listen to, and a reminder that Janet Jackson was vilified for giving us the most memorable Super Bowl halftime show to date. People are dramatically and drastically overreacting to this halftime show. I've traditionally never been impressed by it, but Joy, I believe you disagree. What did you think of the Super Bowl 53 halftime show?
I thought it was exactly what I expected it to be, which was a Maroon 5 halftime show.
What is that?
What we watched. I mean, what does Maroon 5
Did you not hum along?
I mean,
you not one song? Harder to Breathe?
Songs about Jane is a strong album.
They got hits.
Okay, they do have hits.
My thing is, like, what Super Bowl halftime show did you walk away from like, damn,
Prince?
Thank God I watched that.
Prince.
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
That was you.
Beyonce.
Okay.
Lady Gaga.
Beyonce never headlined the show. She was a part of something else. Wasn't she? That whole show was hers?
The Ravens.
Ravens Super Bowl. Okay, yeah, I was hyping on some other stuff.
Katy Perry.
Okay.
All right, relax. Left Shark was huge. Okay, here's the thing: Maroon 5 is Maroon 5. Okay, and they had a good album, songs about Jane, and then they have some other songs that people play on the radio and such.
Right.
All right, and then they're appropriate for playing in stores.
Yeah,
okay,
elevators, all that.
So, like, what kind of performance did you want? Did you expect? You think like robot unicorns are going to run across the stage or something? Like, what I feel like this is what it comes down to for me. Okay. First of all, we all know that Super Bowl halftime show was a disgrace because it should have been nothing but the most Atlanta ever.
Yes, minus 21 Savage. Sorry about that.
Yes. Okay. It really should have been. Like, it should have been all Atlanta
Dungeon Family,
artists.
all of it.
Craziness.
Yes.
All right. Hype. Everyone should have been singing along and rapping along. We got one ATL ho, and I feel like we needed more.
No, we got a couple.
We got
and
a couple.
They weren't, I don't know if they were happy about it. It was on the out. Like it was a transition.
It needed to be that the whole time.
Yes.
Okay. And Travis Scott was Travis Scott. That's what Travis Scott does.
He only did one song though.
Okay, but like, what else is he gonna do?
Another song?
Look, it was like 15% Travis Scott and Big Boy, and the rest was Adam Levine running around. All right, and that's what you expect because it's a Maroon 5 show. All right, and everyone is rightly very angry that he took his shirt off. It is 100% wrong that he was allowed to do that, and Janet Jackson has been banned from the Super Bowl for all time.
And she had something covering her nipple.
Exactly.
If he would have had a tattoo covering his nipple, maybe we would be like, all right, cool.
Nipples. Where did I sign up for
that?
that?
Yeah, I don't want no man nipples.
I didn't see.
We watched it last night, and I was like,
I didn't see JT's signature on anything. I did not sign off on that. Okay, it's not what I signed up for. And it's not right. And I'm not even sarcastic. Like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
All right. She should have been there last year with Justin Timberlake. Why the f Justin Timberlake allowed to perform and she's not? Okay. Now Adam Levine's about to take his shirt off and Janet's not. I just had enough of it. Like, here's what it is. I'm just gonna say it. The Super Bowl halftime show is no more. It's no longer a thing, okay? It was a thing, and now it's no longer a thing for multiple reasons. One, people are protesting and boycotting because of Kaepernick, which I'm 100% fine with, okay? Two, because of that, they can't get the top artists of the moment, which is the whole point of the Super Bowl halftime show, to have the biggest artists of the moment perform.
Yeah.
That's Cardi B. It should have been Cardi B.
Yeah.
And Cardi B's not going to do it because she's a big supporter of Kaepernick, which I agree with. And then, so we're not getting Cardi B. What do I got? Okay, so now we're going to ask for other people. Rihanna's not going to do it. Okay, so who do we got? We got Maroon 5. That's what we're going to get. We're going to get Maroon 5.
But all these other people that are supporting Kaepernick was doing offstage shows at the Super Bowl, still getting money at the Super Bowl. Like, they're not all high and mighty. It was like, oh, I will not take any funds from this weekend.
That money.
Okay. That's fine. We accept that.
I'm fine with Cardi doing the halftime show. Okay.
Me too.
All right.
I'm saying, because it doesn't. My thing is, it's never mattered. They always try to make us feel like it mattered. It's never mattered.
By the way, Lady Gaga, I love you. Please come on the podcast.
What's her real name?
Okay.
Shouts out Stephanie.
Hi, Steph. Please come on the show. All right. She's incredible. I love Lady Gaga before, but now I'm an actual stan. Okay, but the point is, she approached the halftime show in Houston like it was the biggest moment of her career. Like she talked about it like this is what every artist works for.
It is.
You have the biggest audience, the biggest stage. You get to do the craziest performance, and that's how she treated it. And really, that's what it used to be. But it's not that anymore because you can't get the main artist of the moment because of everything that's going on. So I think it's no more. And the Super Bowl's in Miami next year. We already know it's going to be Pitbull.
Mr.
I'm
Worldwide.
sure we're going to see an appearance by DJ Khaled.
He better do Kulo. Or one of his real rap albums. He better do one of those.
Oh, like the original ones?
Yes.
No, we ain't gonna get that.
Grow his head out. Get the braids. All that. I need old Pitbull back.
No.
Yes.
That's not happening.
Kulo.
No.
Kulo.
It's not gonna happen. But I mean, it is gonna be Pitbull. We know that. Like
with Neo probably.
Is there a line on that already? Because let's
get some money now.
I'm gonna put some money on that right now. J-Lo, we'll probably see J-Lo.
He'll voice the like official promo that they put out for it though, which leads me to believe he'll be involved in some capacity.
Yeah, it's gonna be Pitbull. But it doesn't matter. The point is that Super Bowl halftime show was the perfect whatever you put on cucumber sandwiches at a fancy party. Like topping for what the actual game was, because it was nonsense. The game was nonsense, and the halftime show was nonsense.
Not nonsense. It was what it needed to be.
Did you just snort?
Safe. Yes, he's just snorting.
I didn't think I was going to hear cucumber sandwiches today, Joey.
I mean, I love cucumbers, but cucumber sandwiches are what's the point? It's like water.
It's Maroon 5. It's like the Aerosmith of our generation goes out and puts on a half-ass performance where they don't sing very well. Who's surprised? Who is surprised?
I'm not surprised. I'm saying this is the performance that I thought we were going to get. I'm more disappointed about the fact that it just happened.
I'm mad at Adam Levine.
Listen, they performed that
Adam
way.
Levine, if you're watching this, you don't harmonize with Sleepy Brown. You let Sleepy Brown sing by himself.
Yeah.
Sleepy Brown knows the way you move.
Yeah.
Okay? Not
That's
you.
true.
You move like Jagger.
Yeah. That is true. I'm with that for sure. Thanks for joining us this week on the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast.
Yes.
We are eventually going to start having guests on again.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
We weren't doing that on purpose. We just figured you want to hear from us for a little bit.
Right.
But the football season was a great football season. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to everyone who played in the Fantasy Football League this year. We will do that again next year. Congrats, Brandon, on winning.
Hey, it's God's plan. Don't thank me. You know
what I'm saying? Make sure you follow us on YouTube at Maybe I'm Crazy Podcast and all our social pages at Maybe I'm Crazy Pod. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.